everybody, I'm Suzanne Lyons, and welcome back, and thanks so much for joining me for this next YouTube series that I'm doing. This one is on social media and the importance of getting savvy. I mean, super savvy, in the area of this whole new arena. Not new, it's been a few years old, but for many of us, it's like me kicking and screaming all the way in. And poor Anthony, he knows what it's like. He's worked with me for 2 years getting me, I've been doing these YouTubes, I feel I'm doing something.
Great.
Thank you.
You're doing great.
And as I promised all of you
way too hard on yourself.
Thank you. I promised you last week that I would have Melinda here, and here she is, Melinda Augustina, not just an award-winning actress and producer, as I mentioned last time, but also really one of the experts, and has her own company in social media for the entertainment industry and outside the industry, and has worked with a lot of friends of mine, actually colleagues of mine, in terms of getting them, to over 50 film festivals, or how do we, raise money for our films, how do we get out there and make those things happen. So she's one of those people in this industry who has become an expert in that arena, and I know for a lot of us it's overwhelming. And what she's done is she's got this questionnaire as part of her company, and it kind of breaks it down to make it a little bit easier. So I want you to talk about that today.
Yeah, there are actually hundreds of social media sites.
Really?
And, lots and lots. Most everybody knows Facebook and YouTube and Twitter, but there's hundreds more, and you have to break it down into something manageable for yourself. So we focus on 10 aspects, and then depending on what your business is, and so let's say film producing, there's very specific things that you should focus on for film producers. You don't necessarily have to do everything all at once.
Got it.
But probably just focusing on a little bit at a time.
Got it.
Yeah, so you build slowly.
See, that's what's so scary is for me when I think social media, I think, oh my God.
It is huge.
It's huge.
It is huge, but it's manageable.
So you have it like in phases? Is that what you do with your clients?
We start in phases, and what is the most important thing for them. So if you're producing a film, let's say, then the most important thing for you is a website for your production company.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So start with that.
Yeah, absolutely. A website for your production entity, whatever your production entity is then. And then you feature your films on your website. Right. And then you can have separate websites for each film as they grow, but it's not necessary at the first. And then I think it's also important to know that a lot of people now don't do websites at all. They just do blogs with pages.
You know what? I've heard about that recently because I was on IMDb Pro recently trying to get some of my pictures in development that are up there, my scripts, and and they're saying, well, hook it up to the website. And I'm thinking, you know what? I've been hearing from a lot of my friends that they're not even doing the website.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do websites
so what's
anymore.
That about
it's a blog with pages, and it looks almost exactly like a website. It's just that the blog is integral. And that's really, really, really important.
Interesting.
Yeah, a blog is important because each blog post is a new page to search engines.
Okay.
So each post is a brand new piece of what I say to my clients, the search engines are hungry, and you need to feed them.
I love that.
So they're out there looking for information, and so each blog post is a separate page.
So if
search engine.
So if I'm going to be writing like say something about my movie or whatever, as long as I'm writing something every week, then you're saying that's and the fact that that's getting out there, that creates an activity. That creates
somewhat, yes. Somewhat. As long as you're tagging it properly and you're using the right keywords.
Oh God,
like that.
Something else.
Well, you have an audience. If you're a filmmaker, you have an audience that you want to serve, and that audience is looking for certain things.
Got it.
And so you want to give them what they're looking for, and the tools that are available take all the hard work out of it for you, as far as having to think things up. Like, what are they thinking about? You don't have to think. You don't have to wonder what they're thinking about, or it doesn't have to be a mystery anymore. You can just go to a particular website, either Google AdWords or any number of different websites, and you type in some words, and it tells you 23 people are looking for those words. And you're like, that's not enough to make a movie.
I see. I thought I was the one who had to make up my whole list of keywords.
Well, you have to, but then you put them into a program, and the program tells you, whether or not you've chosen wisely.
Got it. So, indie film producing versus indie film making might make a huge difference in terms of... Interesting.
And a huge difference whether your audience is the United States or somewhere else.
Got it.
Huge difference.
And if I go into that Google... What was it called again?
Google AdWords. Yeah.
GoogleAdWords.com, and I type that in, then it will give me those numbers. And then I know that if I'm writing my blog, I can include better keywords, which will then, get to the people
Yeah.
that I want to get to
Yeah.
or whatever.
Theoretically.
And create that more, theoretically.
No, it truly works. It does
Got
truly
it.
work. Yeah,
Yeah.
it absolutely works. Yes.
And
So-
I mean, it is an interesting part of the industry because now it's something we all have to take for granted because everybody is. My God, we're watching movies on our iPhone now. I mean,
Right.
everything is really on. It's part of the internet.
yeah.
So whether we like it or not,
Yes, that's the important aspect. Is
Yeah.
you may not want it, and you may not be interested in, and you may not like it. But if you're in business,
Yes.
you don't have a choice.
you don't have a choice.
You don't have a choice because if you're not doing it, then somebody else is.
Got
You
it.
know, somebody else is, and they're more than happy to take the business from you.
Well, thank you very much for that. On that rather
Yeah.
uplifting note, right?
But also you have to remember, and it also depends on what kind of a business you have. But
Sure.
it doesn't hurt anyone to be out there participating.
Got it.
Yeah,
All right.
just participate
So we need
in
to
whatever way you can.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing. Is that
Okay.
you're participating in a regular way.
Okay.
Yeah.
And with regular and with frequency. Is that what you mean by regular?
In a regularly frequent
Got
way.
it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Brilliant.
a better word. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. Yay. All right.
Much
This has
better
been
word.
so great. Thank you so much. This has really kind of helped set the context too, I think, for which, because we're going to be doing a number of other tips. In fact, she's going to come back and join me, yes, next week. So I want to thank you for that too.
Absolutely.
So thanks for joining me today.
Yeah.
And I look forward to continuing on this conversation on next week's tip on social media. And I thank all of you for joining us today. All right. I will see you next time.
Bye.